Hello everybody, my name is Todd Reisinger. The focus of my public information campaign this semester is on interstate infrastructure. My focus is to create a grassroots campaign that gets the ultimate attention of the American Association of State Highway and Transportation Officials to get them to promote a national one-week annual campaign where they put interstate signs out making the public aware of funding needs to be doubled from $12.8 billion to more like $23 billion per year based on the data released by the National Bridge Inventory of the Federal Highway Administration, which has put out reports that the bridge infrastructure is basically 16 years past its useful age on average, so that there is a real threat, especially during bad weather such as hurricanes, that more bridges could just collapse, especially with barge accidents and issues such as that. The campaign that I created, I posted all the documents on a website that I developed, www.freehelpmagazine.com. I placed a 30-second and 60-second public service announcement, a feature article, and a news release on the website to help make it easier for everyone to go view my promotional documents. I also placed the contact information for state senate offices, Congress, local representatives, state representatives on that website as well, on the same page as the feature article. The measurable objectives that I would use to see if my campaign was successful would first be if I got any volunteers, and if that led to sponsorship by politicians at any level that got a highway sign utilized, and to see if it grew from there to get the attention of the American Association of State Highway and Transportation Officials, and ultimately to see if there was any significant funding increases from the annual $12.8 billion per year for redevelopment issues on the interstate system. The target audiences would be based on the initial grassroots campaign, would be the readers of the Owner-Operator Independent Drivers Association, which is a truck driving association, the readers of the AARP and Huffington Post, to try to get volunteers and people actively participating in soliciting their government representatives in order to get the government representatives to persuade the American Association of State Highway Transportation Officials to promote this annual week event. So the feature articles and news releases would be focused on the AARP and OIDA magazines and the Huffington Post. The public service announcements, the main focus would be on the Trucking Bozo radio program, which is a nightly radio program sponsored by the Owner-Operator Independent Driving Association to get the word out mostly to truck drivers, commercial truck drivers, so that they may become more actively involved in getting backing by politicians to get pressure onto the American Association of State Highway and Transportation Officials to help get this campaign into a large annual event. The cost of the campaign would initially be just volunteer and free, news releases, feature articles, social media campaigns, focusing on Facebook groups, trying to get more volunteers and get people to care about the issue. And then the ultimate goal would be to have this grow to be similar to the National Work Zone Awareness Week, which gets $3 million of funding a year through grants funding, basically. So the range of the cost of this campaign could vary significantly. And of course, the evaluation of the success of the campaign would be the ultimate funding increase that would hopefully go into well above the $12.8 billion of annual funding that they're already seeing for funding from the government for redevelopment efforts on the interstates. So I start off with allocating, myself to create the promotional documents, solicit them for use on the radio programs and magazines and social media to try to get volunteers, and then allocate the campaign efforts to maybe one person for focusing on Facebook and Twitter and different social media outlets, YouTube videos. One for directly soliciting assistance by the American Association of State Highway and Transportation Officials. One for leading volunteer groups and soliciting the Senate offices, Congress, state representatives, local representatives, and I would focus on getting a board of directors, such as people like Dr. James Fullerton, Dr. Wickersham at the university, at this college, and maybe someone like Reg Murphy, to get their feedback, maybe see where they would advise someone to put out news articles, feature presentation, or news releases and feature articles, or public service announcements to get a following and see if they're more persuasive people that might take an interest in helping to get stakeholders' attention on this to ultimately get actual campaign that the politicians can stand up and say, hey, I'd